Do you feel like that had anything to do with the loss of Ariel Atkins and her playmaking, and just how did you guys manage without her after she went out?
I think we just needed to defensively step up. I mean, we need to run them off the line. The 3-point line is what they do. They're a run and gun team. They're going to maximize off our turnovers. For me, 5 turnovers is got to get that down. Got to get that together. It's unacceptable, and I just really have to be better because they maximize off everything. They are number one team for a reason, and they came out and played like it tonight.
Angel, we've really seen you these past 2 games be able to call your own number and generate offense by yourself, going along with the rest of the team. And at times it's looked really good over this last 2 game stretch, of course, not coming out on top tonight. But what can you say about how important that is for you to be able to not only generate offense for your teammates, but also for yourself?
Yeah, just trying to stay poised. Trying to give my teammates as much as I can. I know they need me. So I try to come up big for them as much as I can. I know if I drive, they'll collapse in and I can kick it out to my 3-point shooters. But I think tonight I needed to do a better job kicking it out and not turning the ball over. So I'm definitely going to beat myself up about this one because I turned the ball over way too many times again.
Rachel, with you playing more point guard for the team the last couple of weeks, with Minnesota today, they did a lot more switching than the last couple of games than y'all played against them. Kind of from the helm, what does it look like when kind of the offense is like flattening out and like the ball isn't moving as much? Or how do you kind of combat that?
Yeah. I mean, it's just finding the right pace. I think a lot of it's going to come down to our defense. We're so much better when we get stops and can run in transition, and that just gets us in a flow naturally. But I got to do a better job of just getting us into better offense and getting the ball moving side to side. It got stuck a lot, and they did a good job. They pressured, and like you said, they switched up. But we got to be able to expose those switches as well. So it'll be a good lesson for us to when we play them next and when we play other teams that do that.
For Angel, Collier's having an MVP level season, and you made her work tonight. What do you think you can take away from matchups against a player of her caliber right now?
Yeah, I mean, she's a great player. Everybody knows that. She's also a defensive player of the year too. So for me, just being able to match up against her is just something I love to do, to battle. I take it personal just to go against her every night because she is one of the best, and to be one of the best, you got to guard the best. So she definitely puts me to work the whole time. I can't take a play off, and she's just a great player. So I'm just happy to be able to compete with somebody, and also just being able to have like a sister that really wants me to get better as well. She's talking to me on the court, and obviously I have a relationship with her off the court as well. So it's great.
Question for you. These matchups with the Lynx, they kind of have a playoff feel to them. When you look at like the growth and development of the team, how do you guys think this is going to help you guys going forward?
I mean, I feel like it gives us a lot of confidence because even tonight, I think they didn't run any sets that killed us. It was our turnovers. It was us boxing out. It was us getting back in transition. It wasn't something spectacular that they ran that we couldn't stop. It was just the fact that we didn't get back in transition. We fouled them a lot. I mean, if I send Fee to the line, or me or anybody send her to the line 11 times, she doesn't miss free throws. So when she's 11 for 11 from free throws, we cut that to maybe 3, 4. I mean, and we run them off the 3-point line a couple of times, and I think we're still in this game. But I think the confidence within us, I think we know we can beat the best. It wasn't a fluke the other night. Like we can beat the best. We ran up with them. We were in Minnesota as well, so it's not a fluke. Like we know we can run with the best. So we just continue to put our heads down and continue to work and move on.
Yeah, question for Rachel. The last 9 games, you're averaging over 12.5 points. The 7 straight game, you've scored double-digit points. Can you just speak to like what you're doing differently, or is it just anything you contribute, to your success?
I'm just trying to be aggressive. When your role kind of changes where you can play a little bit more freely and you're playing more minutes. And my teammates, I've said this, like they set me up so much. They're always looking to screen me, get me open. They give me so much confidence. Like I get airball and they do not care. And when you play with people like that, it just makes you feel better about your next shot. So I'm just playing really confident right now. And, everyone trusts me and I just got to do a really good job of continuing to do that and take care of the damn basketball. Sorry. I'm just really angry about it.
Yeah, Angel, you played 36 minutes, more minutes than anybody else on the court today. How do you manage that much time on the floor? And, what are you doing to stay in the game and kind of fight off fatigue?
Shit, suck it up and keep hooping. I'm young. I'm supposed to have young legs and just continue to push through.
Bones.
Young bones, as they always say. It's no excuse for me. I I got to keep pushing through. I think I average 36 minutes a game, probably 35, 36 minutes a game. And I guard the best player usually. Fee is not something that you can just take off and have time off and slouch around. Like, I got to get up and not be scared. Like, I just come in every day and try to dominate my matchup as much as I can and pull through as much as I can because I know this team needs me.
Angel, you're doing a lot more initiating and just kind of generally self-creating for yourself on the court and the half court. Looking at this game today, though, it felt like you were initiating the contact and then kind of creating the separation for yourself. Can you just speak to how the game is like slowing down and your feel is kind of growing from that?
I think it's just my confidence is like through the roof right now. I can continue to just trust my work. I know it started off rough, but I couldn't put my head down and complain or make excuses about it. I just continue to keep growing and going and going, getting extra reps after practice with Dave, watching a lot of film, and seeing how teams are guarding me. I think it was just me. It wasn't anybody else or any excuses of why I wasn't finishing in the beginning. But I think my confidence right now is just continuing to be through the roof. And I know when my confidence is up and my energy is up, it's contagious to the team.
For either of you, turnovers were an issue at the beginning of the season and then you guys got it corrected and now they're starting to come back. Is there anything that you can kind of pinpoint what it is? Is it just trying to find that connectivity again, or is it just small mistakes? What can you attribute that to?
I think for me, I mean, this is a new role for me. Still figuring it out, and that's no excuse. But I just have to watch film and be better because I know I'm making the right reads, but I just got to get the ball to where it needs to get to faster. I did have a couple unnecessary turnovers for sure, but I know we're making the right read, and it's not like we're just forcing the turnover unnecessarily. But I know that we'll continue to get better. I think Rachel also, she's in another position that she hasn't ran in a while, being a point guard again. Just did it in Minnesota years ago, but just being able to get back into that. So it's a growing pain right now, but we're just going to figure it out. We're not going to make any excuses. We're not going to point the finger. I think we're just going to look ourselves in the mirror. We're going to figure it out.
Coach, do you have any update on Michaela or Ariel? Ariel left at halftime and then it looked like Michaela was out for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think Michaela was fine. No concussion or anything. Ariel is still being analyzed. Yeah.
Coach, you've now seen Minnesota 3 times in the last 8 games, and just the caliber you guys have been playing over them. Is there, like, at this particular point in the season, knowing how good they've been and the fact that you guys been able to be in these games, with the exception of the second half today, what do you think are some of the benefits of facing them at this point in the season?
I think that. I think that at this point we're getting everybody's best shot, and we want everybody to get our best shot, no matter who we're playing. I think that every game has been a test for us thus far, no matter on what side we've come out of it on. So I don't know that there's anything specific to take from playing Minnesota specifically. They're obviously a championship caliber team. They're number 1 in the league in a lot of different categories. So, but I think that what we've seen, whether it's Minnesota or any other team, we've seen a ton of pressure, and I think that was the biggest adjustment that they made against us tonight. Is I think they probably felt like that we played a little bit harder and more physical with them the other night, and to me it was clear that was what their intent was coming into tonight. And so we didn't handle the pressure great today. Another 19 turnovers, which we can't have if we want to give ourselves opportunities to score. I thought the first half we managed it pretty well, as with the exception of the last maybe 2 minutes in that second quarter. And then the second half, I thought that they just played a little bit harder than we did, and whether that was due to fatigue on our end or what have you, I'm not sure. But yeah, we didn't close out the game like we wanted to today.
Hey, Coach Marsh. In addition to the pressure, I noticed they were switching significantly more than they did in the previous matchups with them. I was curious, just from your perspective, offensively, what maybe were you expecting to see more from your team to kind of counter the switches and put them in a disadvantage?
Yeah, I think that I think their switching just made it difficult for us to get the ball inside a little bit and forced us to play on the perimeter a little bit more in a way that we weren't able to get the same looks on paint penetration as we were able to before. I just think they made it really tough for us in terms of being disruptive, and that's what they did with their switching. The ball on our end didn't move as quickly as we wanted to take advantage of those opportunities. and then they did a decent job with us on the offensive glass. So our second chance opportunities weren't as plentiful as it was the other night. And so, again, they capitalized off of our turnovers. They were able to get out in transition off of them as well. And so we just got to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Tyler. This is, I think, the 8th game that Angels had a double-double and shooting better than 50% from the floor. What specifically do you like about her game right now? And is this kind of what you envisioned when you had her switch roles a little bit coming in?
Yeah, for sure. The versatility is definitely something that I saw coming into to the season and coming into the job. And all the tape prior to that I've watched on Angel, there's different ways that I felt like she can be effective. And so in addition to rebounding and being in the low post, and I think she's shown that versatility as this year has gone on. I think that over the course of these last 8 games, it's been her aggression, it's been her willingness to, or it's been her ability to understand when she's got the lane as a scorer and when she can be a facilitator. And so then obviously what she brings on the defensive end as well. And I know she didn't pull down any offensive rebounds tonight, but she had 10 defensive rebounds, and those are key too. And so I thought Minnesota made a conscious effort to keep her off the offensive glass today, and but she was able to find ways again to grab 10 defensive rebounds. I think that again, though, I think to answer your question directly, it's just been her aggression and being able to recognize her opportunities in different areas of the floor, whether it's in the low post, high post, or on the perimeter, and being able to feed off her teammates from that standpoint as well.
Coach, first quarter, you guys went 4 from 8 from the 3. After that, at the end of the game, you went 7 for 15. So I'm wondering, was that the plan going into the game to shoot more threes? And then why do you think that production lessened as time went on?
No, I wouldn't necessarily say it was part of the game plan. I think we still want to play inside out for the most part and take advantage of those opportunities when we've drawn defense and multiple defenders and been able to exploit the help with our shooters. But I thought a big part of it was we just weren't the ball just wasn't moving as quickly as we liked to. They made us stagnant a little bit today, which kind of inhibited our ability to play with the pace and the space that we talked about pregame and game plan. And it was the area that I spoke about having being pleased with from the last time we played them. And so when the ball's not moving, when our bodies aren't moving, it's hard to generate open shots. So.
Christian Winsider. Angel mentioned earlier that perimeter defense was an issue. That was something that was an issue early on in the season, and now we saw that in this game. And you mentioned fatigue. Do you think fatigue played a part in the perimeter defense being an issue? And if so, what is kind of the plan to manage with Courtney Vandersloot is out, Ariel may be out, may not be? How do you manage the fatigue in some players playing so many minutes?
Yeah, I think that that's on me to try to balance out the minutes and the rotations from that standpoint to keep players fresh and everything. But I think that I think our defense it goes hand in hand. I think that across the board we got to be able to cover for each other when there's times throughout the game where we're in scramble mode, and that's kind of possessions that you see when you go against a team like Minnesota that keeps the floor space with all 5 players. You're in scramble mode a lot when someone gets beat, and you got to know where your help is coming from and how to recover out of that. Fee puts a lot of pressure on you because she can exploit you on rolls to the rim, or she can pick and pop and play off the catch and things of that nature. And so, we just got to be better in those areas. I thought we were really good in those areas in the last time that we played against them, and fell short today. But it's all opportunities to correct moving forward.
So, Coach, we saw more minutes with E. Will operating as the hub for the offense. Just wanted to get your thoughts there on what you kind of like from those minutes from her.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty consistent in terms of the effort that she gives us and the ability to keep our offense moving at times. She's a willing passer, just like the rest of our post players, and she always gives maximum effort on both ends of the floor. She's anchored defensively when she's out there, and so I thought she played decent tonight. She was aggressive in the opportunities that she was able to have, but she's kind of been someone that we've been able to lean on, whether it's been in the starting role while Camilla's been out or coming off the bench. So,
yeah, Coach, you alluded to the kind of the change in momentum there at the end of the second quarter. Last minute, they get a 7-0 run. Was there an address of the message moving into the second half, or maybe just a lapse of focus, just in that moment in general?
Yeah, we got to be able to capitalize when we have. I mean, we got the lead to 10 points during that time, and then they cut it to 2 going into the half. And it's just against a team that like Minnesota, you just can't have those laps in that short of a time. And so we talk all the time about not compounding mistakes, and whether it was shot selection, whether it was turnovers, or whether it was on the defensive end, we got to have the ability to be resilient in the moment and not let one turn into 2. And so, and again, I think that's been an area that when you look at our first few games earlier in the season to maybe our last 6 or 7, has been an area that we've really cleaned up. But tonight it just didn't happen that way.
Coach, more on that. Just kind of, you talked a lot about having the right mindset in the game, taking care of the ball. That wasn't very apparent today. So when you go back to the locker room, when you're talking to your players, what do you tell them? Do you think this is just, a lapse in a game? Because it has been getting better. I'm just wondering what your approach is to the players.
Yeah, I think that I think it's very clear. I think our players understand it too. It's the proof has been there. When we take care of the ball, we can be pretty formidable offensively. When we don't, it puts a hamper not just on you offensively, but defensively now. And so we just got to value. We talk about valuing possessions all the time, and that it's not just on the offensive end, it's on the defensive end as well. But specific to turnovers, we got to take care of it, and our shot selection is just as important as not turning the ball over. So.